Hello and welcome to another video by Financial Earning. On today's video, I want to break down Mullen's latest PR. Came out January 30th. It has to do with an initial order of 20 of the campus EV cargo vans with additional regular schedule orders to follow. So we're going to go ahead and follow along with me, go over some of these highlights. First thing, this announcement was for, like I said, vehicle order with Grupo Cavel to purchase those Mullen campus EV cargo vans in the Dominican Republic and Caribbean markets. For Cavel's electric motors dealerships. So next thing I want to talk about is Cavel's plans to continue ongoing vehicle orders and establishing sales and service distribution channel for Mullen's commercial lineup in the Dominican Republic and Caribbean. Interesting thing to know about the Grupo Cavel is they have substantial relationships in vehicle sales, distribution, warranty, and servicing throughout the Caribbean. And the Dominican Republic is actually leading the country among the Latin American countries there in the Caribbean with the most electric vehicles per capita. Just one of the quotes had to do with Grupo Cavel CEO, Joel Tavares, and we'll talk about him a little bit later on in this video. And again, he is the owner of the electric motors dealership there as well. So he says, our commitment to electric vehicles began with the introduction of the first electric motorcycles in the Dominican Republic, which grew into offering 5 brands throughout our electric motors dealerships. Today, we made an important decision by adding Mullen's commercial vehicles to our portfolio. And one thing that's really interesting about the Dominican Republic as well, according to David Mishery, one thing I want to quote him is he says that where in the Caribbean, the warmer weather provides near perfect operating environment for EVs. And again, later on in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about exactly how that is going to be most impactful there in the Dominican Republic. All right, so on this page, you can actually see a little bit more about electric motors there in the Dominican Republic. So if you were to go online and look up the Grupo Cavel.com, you come to a splash page. Really isn't too much here. You can't click any of the links. So there's been a little bit of FUD circulating about exactly how legitimate this company is. But don't worry, I'm going to go over some of those in the upcoming slides. Just want to show you though, on their website, you can see electric motors there as one of their many businesses that are under their umbrella. So another thing you may run into in the next couple of days is something I like to call FUD alert. So I added a little slide to go over that. If you were to search electric motors Dominican Republic, you may come up to a maps image showing what looks like an empty lot. But if you look at the image capture, that's actually from 2019. So don't let the fudsters trick you on that one. We'll actually show you some images of more recent landscaping in that area. And see on this slide, this looks a lot more like a dealership. So you can see down at the bottom there, this is the most recent image that you can find on Google Maps. This was taken in July 2022. You can definitely see the electric motors dealership. It's at the same exact location when searching for electric motors. You can also find electric motors Instagram page. They've been posting very frequently as of 1 week ago. And one thing I did want to point out, the vehicle that they posted there reminds me a little bit of the size of the Mullen Goes. So it would be interesting to see if in the future, if they'd be willing to partner with Mullen Automotive with their Mullen Goes. Just who is this Joel Tavares gentleman? So a lot of people were kind of talking about potential scam and everything like that. I don't see that at all. Actually, just do a little bit of research right on the surface. If you do a little digging, you're going to see he has a well-established social media profile. At the left, you'll see his Twitter. The center section, you'll see his Instagram. And to the right, you can actually find some interview that he did with a radio group there on Facebook. And that was actually of March 2023. He's also listed as a part of the 40 under, I believe, 40 club. There in the Dominican Republic, and that was a pretty recent article there in December 2023. And you can also see, which I thought was a very interesting thing, was that he actually signed a deal with JBM Group, an Indian giant in next generation electric buses. So Joel Tavares definitely sees the benefit of the electric vehicles in the Dominican Republic, and he's doing what he thinks is best to electrify the vehicle fleet there in the Dominican Republic. All right, so speaking of electrifying there in the Dominican Republic, a couple things I wanted to point out is their actual power generation. So you may think, how can the Dominican Republic possibly sustain electric vehicle system there in the Caribbean? Well, I just wanted to point out a couple things I thought was very interesting in terms of the Dominican Republic and what they're doing in terms of their solar generation. So first thing I want to show you has to do with just some quick facts about the Dominican Republic. So they have 10 wind farms and also 9 solar plants in operation. And this is as of September 2023. Energy sources from the renewable energy was 1.1 gigawatts. And that was 19% of total install capacity there, putting the country as leader in renewable energy for the Caribbean. And in addition to that, and this is a little bit of forecasting here, the National Energy Commission reported that just this past April that 18 solar plants and 2 wind farms were under construction and that they will come into operation in 2025. So that is going to actually help increase the power generation of renewables by 25%. And you can see a couple of the different images there. The bottom left is a Girasol solar park there in, I'm going to butcher this, Yaguate, San Cristobal province there in the Dominican Republic. The picture on the top right is actually the same solar farm, just a little bit different view to kind of give you a little bit more of an understanding of how large these solar farms are there in the Dominican. And they also have some of the solar farms just right there at the beaches. So it's definitely a popular thing to have there. And again, the benefit of having solar power or wind is you don't have to rely on importing in gasoline or oils, natural gases, anything of that nature, diesel fuel, in order to be able to generate electricity. Up, I just want to go over 2 additional articles that I found to be interesting in terms of renewable energy, solar generation there in the Dominican Republic. First one I wanted to point out was the solar power plant Monte Cristi there in Dominican Republic. Has a total of 215,000 modules, and once all installed, they produced output of 58 megawatts. So it comes out to 103,000 megawatt hours of electricity per year. And that is enough to supply 50,000 households with safe, clean electricity. Also, one very interesting fact I liked from this article says solar energy opens up new unprecedented opportunities and will have a lasting impact on the country's future. So it goes to say that the CEO of Grupo, Cavel, is definitely forward-looking when it comes to renewables and how the electrification is going to play a big part in the country and in the Caribbean. The last article there I wanted to point out, this is a 60 megawatt photovoltaic solar energy farm in Monte Plata province in the Dominican Republic. So you can see again just the overall, if you look at the image on the far right there, near the top of that image, you can actually see the solar farm with respect to the city there. So it's a pretty large farm, and it can produce a substantial amount of electricity. If you want to read a little bit more about this, they talk about comparing it with Switzerland and how it's about 1.5 times a higher amount of solar generation than in Switzerland. And then also just for you clean energy folks, just wanted to point out that almost 70,000 CO2 emissions will be reduced once this plant is fully constructed. So if you like this video, you want to hear a little bit more, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what you did like. Let me know what you'd like to see in upcoming content. And with that, have a great night.